The brain is dependably about the past that you have gathered. It's really not necessary to focus on what's going on at this point. It is a helpful device to deal with the materialistic part of life. However, on the off chance that you utilize it to deal with for what seems like forever, it's an all-out wreck. On the off chance that you take a gander at it consistently in any event, getting up toward the beginning of the day will seem to be a tremendous accomplishment. Then, at that point, you need to clean your teeth. Eat, work, eat, rest. Again tomorrow, first thing exactly the same thing. Until the end of your life, you need to do exactly the same thing again and again. Sensibly, is it advantageous? Not in any way, shape or form, right? In the event that you take a gander at your backgrounds, perhaps you saw the dawn and it's beneficial. Perhaps you saw the birds overhead, the blossoms sprouting in your nursery or your kid's face then. At that point, perhaps it's beneficial. Be that as it may. Assuming that you take a gander at it coherently, snapshots of outrageous rationale are snapshots of self-destruction. Assuming you become very coherent, you would become discouraged and foolish. At the present time, with a sensible brain, you are attempting to see the idea of life. You can make a solid attempt as you need. It won't work out. To see the idea of your life, you should look past the restrictions of the intelligence I shade. Any other way being one long, unending, unproductive struggle is going. It can never get you to an answer. It can expand the intricacy of the issue. This legitimate brain, which is the basic instrument through which you are attempting to do everything, is simply prepared to deal with the duality of the presence. On the off chance that you as a being become double, you become a steady battle. When you make this pressure, and the more you legitimately consider it, the more tense you become. All the sadhana, all the reflectiveness that is endorsed on the otherworldly way is in a general sense to deal with this. Consistent brain, which is developing a specific degree of pressure inside you. In the event that it is continually hung tight, the very life energy in you will become powerless and lose its force and dynamic quality throughout some undefined time frame. There is an exceptionally gorgeous episode in the existence of Aesop, the tailor essayist. He was really the captive of a Greek ruler, and on one occasion he was playing bow and a bolt with a couple of kids. Aesop simply wanted to play with kids. A serious-looking wise man took a gander at this and said, "What an exercise in futility for an adult man to play with kids like this. What is the reason for squandering your life playing with kids?" Aesop needed to pass on the message, so he soaked up the adoration which was hung, unstrung it, put it on the floor and said, "This is the reason." The savvy man said, "I don't receive your message." So Aesop said, on the off chance that you keep your bow continually hung, throughout some stretch of time it loses its solarity and power, and afterward it will be a horrible bow. To hold the strength and power of your bow, you should unstring it at times. Really, at that time, it will be prepared for use when you need it. So that is all it is. That is contemplation, to unstring yourself. Unstringing yourself of the strain the rationale is making inside you. Each sort of rationale fabricates a specific pressure. When there is rationale, there is space for contention, right? Assuming that you become very coherent, you become terribly factious about everything in your life. So reflection is an approach to unstringing this, allowing the psyche just to be there without utilizing the coherent contortion. On the off chance that your brain figures out how to just be there, it becomes like the piece of a mirror. The excellence of the mirror is, a mirror has no face of its own. Rationale has its very own face. Everyone has their own sort of rationale. Why two individuals can contend perpetually about a similar issue, essentially on the grounds that everyone's rationale has its own face. Be that as it may, a mirror has no face. In this little piece of mirror, you can mirror the entire mountain. You can contain the entire mountain in a small mirror. You can contain the sun in the little mirror. When the brain goes past the duality of rationale, it becomes like a mirror which can contain the entire presence, the creation and the maker. All the sadhana is simply towards this. In a general sense, all sadhana is pointed toward resolving the legitimate brain with the goal that you become like a piece of mirror. When you become a piece of a mirror, you can reflect anything. On the off chance that God comes here, He can likewise be contained in you. The sun comes here, it can likewise be contained in you. Anything can be contained in you since you have no face of your own. Profound sadhana doesn't mean you're making yourself into some different option from what you are. Profound sadhana essentially implies deleting the misleading countenances that you have made for yourself. So the brain becomes like a plain mirror which reflects everything simply how it is, with practically no contortions.